Well, welcome to our Movement to the Margins podcast, aka Peg Leg Podcast. We're from Priceless, and Allison, our executive director, is with me right now. Why in the world do we care about peg legs?
That's a great question. So going into a client screening, I always like to ask our clients if they were pirates and had hollow peg legs, what would they keep inside of them? And typically their answers are just kind of goofy and silly, but it gives us insight into who they are on a deeper level in a very funny, superficial kind of way.
And it also brings incredible levity in a very stressful situation.
Yes. So in the middle of these conversations that are oftentimes dark and heavy because of their stories and the experiences that they've had in their life, it's a way for us to diffuse the tenseness that exists in those spaces. So, we're having a kind of a heated conversation. It's awkward. It's the first time we're meeting each other. And then I just kind of throw that question in there and it just totally throws them off guard and blindsides them. And it's a great pegway for us to move into a lighter conversation about what hopes and dreams are moving forward.
Okay, so real quick, Allison, what are you keeping in your peg leg?
In my peg leg, I am keeping popcorn in there. So I have a snack 24/7.
I'm using my peg leg as a purse because I don't love carrying a purse. So mine will have all the things that I would need. How about you, Bereket?
I have no idea.
So this is Bereket. She's here from Ethiopia, and we just blindsided her with the peg leg question. So she may weigh in a little bit later and give us her Ethiopian insight into what might be in that peg leg. Something important that you'd keep with you.
My Bible.
Her Bible. She'll roll that up there.
Good.
Stuff. And we've actually had quite a few people say they would keep Bible verses or scripture in their peg leg. So that's a common one we hear back. Well, we are with Bereket. She runs Springs of Living Water Ministry in Ethiopia. And I met Bereket a little over a year ago. I was sitting at a table in a conference back in North Carolina, and I asked the director of the conference. Everyone at the conference was on the front lines of fighting trafficking, and we were there for some rest and relaxation and to just collaborate with other leaders who are exhausted on the front lines of that fight. And I leaned over to the leader of the organization and asked her, hey, we are thinking of opening a coffee shop where our clients can get some job skills training, have a place where our mentors can meet with clients, have a place where we're doing life skills training. And we thought it would be great if the coffee that we served in that coffee shop, we could source that and other items from some place that was actually fighting trafficking, and the money would go to fight trafficking in whatever area we purchased the coffee from. Do you have any connections for me? And she said, well, you're sitting next to her. So the woman on the other side of me was Bereket, and we just instantly hit it off. There's so many similarities in the way that we view the fight against trafficking, so many similarities in the kind of organizations that we run, and her heart was just right in line with my heart around all this. So we became fast friends and started scheming from that moment on about coffee imports, leather goods, getting her and her husband up to Alaska. Her husband couldn't come this time, but Bereket made it up to Alaska. And day one in Alaska, we had her out on the Matanuska Glacier climbing around. So we tried to provide as much of a contrast from Ethiopia as we could, and mission accomplished. So Bereket, welcome. What did you think of the glacier yesterday?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. It was stunning. I wish I could go back right now. So beautiful.
How does it compare to the glaciers in Ethiopia?
It doesn't compare. Ethiopia is much better.
Well, why don't you just describe for us briefly what you do in Ethiopia? Describe the ministry that you're running there.
Sure. I'm a founder of Springs of Living Water, a nonprofit organization that brings in women and children who've been sexually trafficked, physically abused, and emotionally abused as well. So, yeah, we bring in up to 20 girls at a time, and they stay there for about a year, and we train them with their spiritual needs and vocational training and whatever they need so they can be, rescued and retouched again by the love of God.
And you were telling us that the trafficking survivors in Ethiopia, primarily they come out of a place of poverty.
Yes. the worst kind of poverty you can think of. Some of them don't have just even a meal to eat, so they would, sell their bodies, do whatever it takes so they can live. So a lot of our girls they come from the most worst case scenarios that you can think of. And some of them have kids as well. So they're on the streets, and we just tell them to come into our place, and we give them everything they need to be rehabilitated and just know that they are worthy in the eyes of the Lord.
And so a big part of what you guys do is the job training so that they can get out of this place of desperation and actually learn a skill so they can self-support and be fully contributing members of society and start going a different way. So a lot of that time that's spent in their first year there is job training.
Exactly, yes. Mm-hmm. So they pick whatever they want to learn. We have a lot of hairstylists, makeup artists, even photographer, and just whatever they want to be, they pick, and we just make sure that they are trained in that.
Well, Allison, tell us a little bit about Refuge Coffee Collab, the coffee shop that we're opening with Priceless, and how that intersects with what Bereket is doing.
Yeah, so in opening Refuge Coffee Collab, which will be located right on Spenard in the heart of Anchorage, and the goal with that is to employ and empower the women that we work with through our organization and have it be an additional place where the community can intersect with those in the margins. And in doing that, wanting to also connect cross-culturally, both within Alaska, within the United States, and international opportunities like Ethiopia. And a big part of that, utilizing coffee that perhaps comes from Ethiopia, but also selling goods that are made by other organizations with like-minded mission. So oftentimes those organizations will have a pulse on the trafficking community. And so working with Bereket and the leather goods that they're making. So these beautiful purses, and we're in the place of brainstorming earrings and leather jewelry and things like that. So being able to partner and sell those goods so that some of that money can go back to help sustain the women that she is working with, and then also sustain the women that we're working with as well.
And I'm wearing one of these amazing leather bags that Bereket just brought back. They got 3 leather sewing machines. And how many women are making goods now in your organization?
A total of 3, actually 4, but one is she's a trainer too. So
they're just now getting started on this, and we got the first 30 bags up here. We'll be selling them at our Redefine Worth, our big Priceless event every year. That'll be happening on November 3rd in Anchorage. So we are so excited to have a boutique at our event this year with lots of goods made by survivors of trafficking from several different locations in our country and then other places, but also including these amazing, beautifully handcrafted leather bags from Ethiopia, which I love mine. I'm wearing it. And
can you describe it?
It's leather. And it's so soft. It's the kind of bag I feel like that in 20 years it'll be even softer and more functional, like it's going to last. So we're excited to have these at our boutique at our event, Redefine Worth, November 3rd. So we encourage you to jump on and come to the event if you can, shop at the boutique, and you can find out all the information that you would need at the website redefineworth.com. Just spell it out, .com, and you can individually sign up to come. We'd love it if you hosted a table and brought some friends. That's free. The table seats 8, so bring 7 of your friends and have a fabulous, amazing night out while fighting trafficking at the same time.
The perfect Friday night.
The perfect Friday night, yes.
So Bereket, where can people go to learn more about your mission and the work that you guys are doing?
You can go on our website, that's springsoflivingwater.org.
And Berket's here in the United States for another couple months or whatever as she prepares to go back and bring in, is it the 3rd class that'll be coming in?
Yes, we'll be 3rd class of 20 women.
Bereket, how many women are on the waiting list wanting into your program?
About 200.
Okay, did you hear that? 200 women on the waiting list. So we are praying and scheming and wanting to do whatever we can to see the mission work that you're doing in Ethiopia expand, because 200 women want out of the lifestyle that they're living in and want a chance and a future and a hope. and they're having to wait. So we hope that everything you're doing gets multiplied and multiplied again at the same time that you feel refreshed, loved, and cared about in that process. So if you have extra funds, extra time, we'll be putting together a mission trip to go to Ethiopia and support you down there. But please check out her website. Support them in any way you can.
And Bereket, can you tell us a little bit about what your big long-term dreams are that God has just put on your heart for this? How many women would you ideally love to house?
My dream will be about 400 women and their kids, so about 1,000 people at a time per year.
That is a lot.
So she's wanting a big land donation. So if you have connections to a large piece of land in Ethiopia, please reach out. Well, thank you very much for dropping in with us today, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll see you at our big Priceless event coming up on November 3rd, and hopefully you'll see me wearing my amazing leather bag. Thank you.